Good morning, how you doing? It's Friday morning and it's a gloomy Friday. I really hope the weather improves. But all the same, I've got a lot to be grateful for this week. I've actually really enjoyed my week because I've been doing my 5-day brand and marketing challenge, which many of you know is 5 days of coaching with me, where people are able to actually get clarity on the kinds of things that they could be doing differently to see better results in their business. And it's always refreshing to work with people who actually do genuinely want to get results. It's so refreshing because it means that the advice that I give them, the feedback that I give them is often taken away and implemented. And I'm someone who moves you from consuming lots of content to actually taking action and seeing the results. So good morning. If you're joining me live now, good morning. And if you catch us on the replay, do also let me know how things are going for you. So at the moment, obviously with it being near the end of September, wow, hasn't time flown? I'm kind of thinking I want to check in with some of you and see how you're getting on. And I know that the climate at the moment isn't ideal. I know that a lot of us have faced many different challenges in our business throughout the year. Some of us can say probably this has been a very good, productive year, and others of us, depending on the industries that we're in, have had not so good a year. And I just want to really encourage you, if you're watching this now or if you watch this at a later time, to remember that there's always going to be challenges in business. What's important is your mindset and how you try to pivot things. I've been working with different types of clients. I can name a few of them that have done very well out of this pandemic. And I appreciate that for some of us, it's quite hard actually to see through the trees, because obviously there's a lot going on. There's all this change around us. There are people panicking around us. And so we don't necessarily feel like we've got much to strive for, do we? Let's be honest, because other people are pushing their energy on us. But I just want to encourage someone this morning and say to you, good morning, that if you are in a situation now where obviously we're in the winter months now, your business might have been in the hospitality industry where perhaps you did lots of things outdoors. Maybe you work in the travel industry where people would normally be booking holidays at this time of year. And for me, I've got 2 clients that are in that situation. Perhaps you're a teacher, or you're someone who, good morning, you're someone who does a lot outdoors, face to face. Maybe you host business networking events, just as an idea. There are still ways, believe it or not, that you can pivot in your business. And I know that some of you are like, oh, but how do I do that? What we got to do is hold on to the positives. So let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And good morning. Also, let me know if you've had to pivot in your business over this time. Some of my clients have had to pivot. I've been speaking to clients who were really successful in their business doing what they were doing, and then in their words, it dried up. It quite literally dried up. So I've had to work with them to build ways to monetize their brands and look at other ways of monetizing their brands in new pockets. So for example, maybe you were targeting before really huge business owners that were doing really big corporate events if you were an event planner. Well, now you might start targeting people that are doing weddings for 15 people, or you might start looking at solutions or packages that target or cater for weddings or events for 15 people or less. So it's just about understanding how to pivot. And this is what I've been teaching and working with my clients to do. If you don't know how to pivot and if you don't know how to apply the right mindset to your business, what you'll find is that you will struggle, okay? There are many alternatives that you can do. There was a man who had a whole restaurant chain that closed down. I think the restaurant chain is Hicks. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm happy to put it in the stories if anyone wants to see. But he had a really fantastic restaurant chain, and he shut them. He had to close them down. And instead, he set up like a little fishmonger's outdoors on a little stand to bring in money. And I think it's quite high-end fish that he's selling. Very unique types of fish that he's selling. And this is what I mean. If you have a reputation in your industry for doing things, there's nothing wrong with changing. And this is why I've always said you don't have to stay in your lane, okay? And that kind of stay in your lane, do what you can do, or do what you're here to do mentality is not going to help many of you that are in that mindset right now. Because if you've been told or taught or practiced staying in your lane, you'll find pivoting really, really hard. How many of you can resonate with what I'm saying here? Because a lot of us have coaches or people around us that are like, well, stay in your lane. You know, she needs to stay in her lane. If you stay in your lane and you're an events provider that's only ever been providing events for corporates, as an example, or you stay in your lane and you're a travel agent who's only ever booked destination weddings, stay in that lane and let's see how your business is going to flourish. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but that mindset doesn't help anyone. So just to wrap up, 2 things that you want to be thinking about. The first thing is your mindset. Where are you at right now? How are you thinking about business right now? And are you in a position where you can pivot or even diversify what you're doing? Because I would normally have run 2 different coaching programs this year that are 6 months long each. And I made a decision that actually I'm not going to run those coaching programs purely because I didn't feel it was the right climate. And so I focused my energy on something else, which as a result has actually benefited me quite a lot. And if I'd stayed in my lane or stuck to what I'm always doing, right, which is a school of thought that I really don't preach at all, I probably would have been stuck, because I would have been like, well, I'm trying to sell this 6-month program and no one's buying it. I'm trying to do this particular package and no one's buying it, because, you're just looking at, staying in my lane. You can't stay in your lane when you've got to be changing direction. That's facts. Yeah? So pivot, change, because the rest of this year could be very different for a lot of you. And if you don't know how to pivot and change and get out of your lane, you are going to struggle. You're going to struggle emotionally, you're going to struggle financially, and you're probably going to give up on your business. Okay, so that's the facts about it. And I can see some of my members from my membership group are on here now, and my membership group at the moment is massively thriving. I said a lot of people are really struggling, feeling a little bit down, and not really understanding what they should be doing at the moment. My members are killing it. Okay, every week there's different things being churned out of my membership group, and I will brag about it because they're doing really, really well. And that's because sometimes you just need that person behind you, or you need to apply yourself in a way that is going to actually get you more focused and get you the results. And that's exactly what I do in my membership group. Someone says, oh gosh, yes, you're really helping me to make a shift with the business. Yeah. So one of my members there are online. And I think for those of you who are stuck, you're going to continue to stay stuck unless you get help, unless you admit that you need help. For those of you who are watching this now who are finding it challenging to change direction in your business, for those of you who are finding it challenging to see through the trees and all the mistiness around you and remove all the noise, get help. I don't care if it's me or someone else, just get help, because we're now, believe it or not, we're now nearly 3 months before 2021, and many of you have been watching my lives, many of you have been reading my blog, many of you have been replying to me on emails, but you still haven't shifted. And I don't mean in terms of investing in my business, I just mean you haven't changed what you're doing. And change is where you're going to see growth. Change is where you're going to see things shift for you. You're not going to shift unless your mindset shifts. So let's say something here now this morning and someone is saying true. Let me know what you do in your businesses, peeps. The fact is, your mindset needs to change. The people you're moving around might need to change. But the fact that you are practicing this staying in your lane, that needs to change. Because if you're letting people tell you to stay in your lane, that's nothing to do with your confidence. That's to do with their insecurities. People might be a little bit shook if you come out of your lane. How about that? Those people that are telling you to stay in your lane are probably the people that are a little bit scared that if you come out of your lane and step into even more greatness, you might have, an even bigger result than you've had so far to date. Some of you have been staying in your lane since March, since the pandemic. And what has that really shown you? What has that really helped you to do? What have you achieved? That's my question for you this morning. Someone says a word. Thank you, sir. So I hope that the rest of you will think about this video. I can see some of my members are in this morning giving me the emojis, and I love that. But honestly, for those of you who have never worked with me before, or you don't know how I work and guide clients, for those of you who've never seen results or haven't seen results in your business since March, please be encouraged this morning. I know what it's like. I was the lady that started on £100, so I didn't have money to waste. I didn't have money to risk spending with people that couldn't help me. I certainly didn't have money like some of you have to spend with gurus charging me 5k plus for like an hour, and when you come out the session you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing, right? And my way is very different, a very different style. I might not come up here looking polished and have all the background and the backdrop and the flowers and the awards behind me, but I don't think that that's what actually resonates with the people that I work with. I think what they're looking for is someone that can help them get results, and I know what they're looking for is clarity, and that's exactly what I pride myself in. The awards I've got, a fancy backdrop, going to a nice hotel and taking some posh pictures, that's not me. I could happily do that and my game would change again, but that's not my style. So if you're looking for help from someone who can give you clarity, if you are someone who has got a mindset where you do want to do well, but perhaps you haven't got the right people around you pushing you, drop me a line. I'm going to put my good morning. Drop me a line and let's have a conversation, because I do want to help more of you, but I'm not going to run someone down to see where, you know, I can help them. After I've messaged you, or after I've actually reached out to you, or we've had a conversation, it's up to you. You know, as I say to my clients, you're responsible adults, right? If you're over 18 and you're in business, you're a responsible adult. And as a responsible adult, you should be able to hold yourself accountable. You shouldn't be coming into, and I made this quite clear, good morning, you shouldn't be coming into, for example, right, a 5-day challenge and expecting reminders every day to come online. Set your reminders, you're an adult. Yeah, and I let all my members know that when we started on Monday, this is not a challenge where I'm going to be in your inbox or messaging you, where are you? I'm not about that. So as a coach, I work with adults who are ready to take action and who are responsible for their actions and who are accountable or want to be held accountable, or they actually just want to shift, full stop. Yeah, someone says, loving your perspective. Facts. Yeah, absolutely. Too many people that I used to work with, and I love everyone I've worked with. I feel that I've learned, I've grown over the years, but a lot of people that I used to work with in my first 2 years of business, they're still in the same position they were in 7 years ago, and that's because their mindset still hasn't shifted. Yeah, they're still using the same templates, they're still working with the same clients, they're still struggling to get sales because their mindset didn't shift. They weren't ready to take action. They weren't ready for that level up. If you are serious about your business, you'll be ready for the level up. You won't be expecting people to be doing you favors. You're definitely not going to be expecting discounts every 5 minutes, and you're going to fully own the results that you get. Because if you don't implement and you're just consuming content, which is what a lot of you do, how are you going to get results from doing that? Be honest, how are you going to get results from watching loads of lives and downloading all the YouTube videos and, you know, looking at books and attending courses, which quite frankly, you could have bought quite a lot of sensible things with for your business? You can't do much unless you implement. So that's my Friday talk for you this morning. For those of you who are watching this, if you do need help, if you do want clarity on what you're doing at the moment, as I said, my email is there. I'm going to pin it for you. I'm also doing a 5-day brand and marketing challenge in November. So for those of you that didn't catch it this time, and there were a few of you who expected me to remind you that I was doing it, no, I don't do that. You can register if you do need the help. No worries, you was driving so I couldn't comment, no problem. Well, let me know your thoughts on this particular video, and if anything's resonated with you or you do need help, get help from the right people, please, because I'm just conscious that with time running out, a lot of you have wasted money getting advice from people that perhaps aren't necessarily helping you in your business where you are at right now. They're giving you advice that is, you can't implement it because you haven't got the budget. You can't do it because you haven't got the resources. So be mindful of who you get advice from. Someone says it's too much to keep consuming and not implementing. Absolutely. And another one of my members saying so worthwhile and so much clarity. Yeah, and have an amazing day, peeps. Honestly, I've put another link in there for you. If any of you are interested, it should be the last comment there. It's https://tinyurl.com/I2M review. There is hope. There is opportunity. There is a chance for you to pivot, but you cannot do that if you are stuck in a mindset that tells you to stay in your lane or that you're not good enough. If you're stuck in a mindset that tells you that you shouldn't be doing this, there are other people doing this better than you, if you're always talking yourself out of things, what you're going to find is that you are going to stay in the same place and progress is going to be really long for you. Someone says, as always, you're very upfront and makes sense. I need a pot of money to invest. Well, actually, you don't always need a pot of money. If you're part of my email subscriber list, you can look out for something that I'm going to be running this weekend only. And if you're not on my email subscriber list, then get on that.